What's up, boys? Welcome back to SVG Tapes. This is Matt. Today we're going to be doing an install for your Mazdaspeed3 headlights. If you don't feel like buying a super expensive aftermarket option, this is a great affordable option. And it's going to be installing these LED switchback lights from GTAretrofits. This will be a great video for anybody just looking how to pull apart headlights in general. There's a lot of different ways manufacturers put together their headlights. This is what the box looks like when you get it. When we open it up, it'll have two of these LED switchbacks curled around. They are plug and play. When you open up the kit, they're going to have these two boxes. These boxes each have a resistor in them. These are your resistors. It's got a plug, a connector that goes to your LED switchback. Right there. So that goes to your box. Then you got to wire your box in. Per these, it'll wire these in with the wiring diagram that it does come with. It does come with the wiring diagram, thank God. But wire those into your stock headlight connectors. Just solder them in. Here is your wiring diagram that you get given, along with the lights. Trying to focus in so the people that are at home, if they lost it or something, maybe you could take a picture and zoom in on it. And these are what the headlights look like. They look amazing. This is the only one that I have done yet. The next one I'm going to do is going to be showing you guys how to do it. We're going to be going over how to split up in the headlights, how to take them apart, how to put them back together and seal them. Really quick, guys, I just want to go over the tools needed that I needed to complete this install. So I needed what's called a Dremel. Just a Dremel with a little sanding tool on it. Hopefully that focuses. What you're going to need is a 10mm socket to get these bumper brackets off. There's two right here that hold the lens in, keeping it from coming off. You need a Phillips head. I think it's a number 2. So you need a number 2 Phillips head for some screws. This is the air saw you're gonna need. See, I cut these pieces out. You need a screwdriver, and then I needed this little screwdriver. It's a micro tool. You need to buy a set of these if you want to do this, because you need a micro tool in order to put these together. The screw is so tiny. It goes inside this little bracket. That bracket will hold in your LED switchback to your headlight. So you're going to need a micro screwdriver in order to put those in. Before you install them, or before you start taking apart your headlights, just test the lights to make sure they work. In order to test the headlights, you have to have a 12-volt source of power, which is my jump box here. To the jump box, the instructions tell you to go with the white and red colored wires to a positive and the black one to a negative, and then the yellow wire will be your turn signal, and then the light should illuminate. Well, let's jump into it. I'll start with removing your connectors and taking this harness off, and then we will go with taking out all of the bulbs. Take your 10mm, I just have it on a socket. You can use electric ratchet, but take off these little brackets. Take off them brackets. They're usually hand tightened. Take notice of what bracket goes where, and take notice of the bolts. One slides on to the bracket right here. Slides on. This other one just matches up to it. Got your brackets off. Now we're going to take this around, and we're going to grab our Phillips head. So we're going to find the outermost screws. They look like this. There's one next to this amber light. Very small screw. I'm going to remove this screw right here on the end, and this screw, and that screw right there. So now we're going to start prying along this glass. We're going to flip it over here and start going at the case. There are clips, like this clip. You're going to have to pull up on this. It helps if you have a heat gun. You can heat up the clips so they don't break, because they do have a habit of breaking. There's these tabs all along the glass, and you're going to pull them up and pry it with your screwdriver at the same time that you pull the tabs up. Just about getting an equal pry of the whole thing. There we go. Alright. We have separation. Alright. So now, you're going to want to clean this up before you put it back together also. I have the black housing, that's how I told you mine were aftermarket, and I already replaced the lenses in them for the Mazda ones. But now I'm going to be focusing right here on this black stripe. I'm going to remove that from this lens, and that's where we're going to be putting our LED strip. These look great. I highly recommend the black housing. Makes it look so much better. Get your lens out. Now you're going to see that there are, if they have this on the stock headlight, I'm pretty sure they do have this. It might just be silver, this inner liner. This is what I'm going to. If you don't have this in the car, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to run the LEDs in the same way that I did along the side. You might just have to run them on the actual face of the headlight, like along this strip, I guess, and then epoxy the holes so you don't have any holes. You can't have any holes leading to the outside of the headlight, like letting in moisture. You can't have any holes letting in moisture while you're doing this, so just keep that in mind. If we drill this big hole, we're going to have to fill it in with epoxy at the end. But now we're at the step of taking out these screws. There's 1, 2, 3 screws, and then that is held in by like more quick tabs, so free of that, and then they become separated. It's your lens and your outline. This is what we're going to be mounting the LEDs to, this piece. I'm going to ditch the lens for the time being. We're going to be mounting the LED along this black strip all the way up, and this is where we're going to need the air saw, is to cut this part clear right about up until here. Then we're going to Dremel it down and make it all smooth, like that one. But first we're going to start by mounting the LED along the holes as far as we can go, probably to about here. Then we're going to act like it's going to go up, and we're going to mark where we're going to cut. So we took what I did up close, took the bracket that we're supplied with, and I mounted it through the drill bit hole to tell where I was putting it as I was drilling the hole. Do that about 1/8 or 1/16 of an inch off of the edge, or your preferred amount. Then you can screw in your first bracket with your micro screwdriver. That is not supplied. You're going to have to get all these tools on your own. And you're going to force it in there because it doesn't go easy. Here we go with the first bracket. Now we've got some 3 installed. I found installing this to find out where the next one should be able to go. It's the best option. And now the best way to get this in is by getting one side in and just kind of forcing it in by sliding it back and forth until it does. So I'm going to slide that up against the wall. And that one looks good. Now to get the next one in, we'll give it some slack. And we'll start it. Now we have reached this point, I'm going to grab a Sharpie and we're going to mark this cover right around where we need the light to sit, to be flush with the black like it is here. But I've got it marked right here in Sharpie. I'll take you guys downstairs and we'll jump on the air saw. Don't worry about what it looks like at the moment because we're going to clean it. Alright, this is what our final product looks like. Got the angle down pretty good. You can shift it back and forth a little bit to get it to fit perfectly. Mine took a lot of shaving right here. Still looks like it even needs more, but it's not touching. So now I blew this off with an air gun. Recommend doing that because there's a lot of dust that gets on it, and then you're going to clean your LED with just water. And I'm going to clean off the little markings I have left over on here. Then we're going to reinstall this to our lens. I'm not going to record the reinstallation process. It is going to be exactly reversed as we did taking it apart. So what I'm going to start with, if you got your stuff all cleaned up and set how you want it, we're going to put the attachment back into the lens with the 3 screws. Then we're going to put the lens back on the housing after you clean the housing. And then you're on to just putting your screws back from the housing to the lens, and then you're pretty much done. Screw your balls back in, put your connectors back on, and then I'll catch you back when we got that all together and we got them both testing. To do this exact install, you're going to need to drill a hole about right here, the big drill bit to fit the connector through, and then we're going to epoxy that when we go to reseal the headlights. In the process of putting them on, you're going to find that the LED contacts this tab right here, so we're going to need to Dremel that back, and I'm just going to bend it off with a pair of pliers. Alright guys, we've got both of the LEDs installed in both the headlights now. I'm testing them. How I told you to do that was both the red and the white wire on the positive and the black wire on the negative per headlight. So I have that set up now. And you recommend to do this before you install these. Don't forget to follow our Instagram for daily content as well. It'll be right here in the link in the description.
Who's got the sauce?
I got the sauce.